Hello everyone, MightyMechanic here. So today I'm going to show you how to replace your front disc brakes. This applies to almost all vehicles. It's a 1998 Lincoln Continental, but like I said, it's going to apply to most vehicles. A few things may be a little bit different, but the process is pretty much going to be the same. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so we're going to start out by jacking it up in the front, supporting it with jack stands. If you do not have air tools or impact tools, go ahead and loosen your lug nuts first. Don't just break them loose. Don't take them all the way off. Just break them loose with a breaker bar. That way your wheel is not going to be spinning when it's in the air. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this wheel off. Alright, so now that we have the wheel off, I'm going to take this little bearing. You can use whatever. You can use like a nut or whatever, something bigger to slip over it. And I'm going to put that on there, put this lug nut on here, so that the rotor will stay in place when we take the bracket off. There we go. Okay. And now I have the keys in the ignition, so the steering is unlocked. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it and turn it so the caliper is facing out. That would be easier to get to our bolts and everything. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and remove these two bolts that hold the caliper on the bracket. On this particular vehicle, these are 12 millimeter, but on the different vehicles, there may be 12, 13, 14. Depends on the vehicle. So I'm going to take these off. Okay. And now I'm going to grab a pry bar. Just a small little pry bar. And I'm going to put it in here so where I can push against that the caliper here, so I can push that piston back in there. So I'm just gonna go in here, and you might well push it, get in the slot on some vehicles. You have a little space right there. You can put it right in there. Now you can go ahead and take it and push it back, just like that. And we're gonna take our caliper and put it on top, just like that. Alright, and also, if you're going to reuse your rotors, be careful if you have a slot in the middle where you can put your pry bar in to, push your piston back. Be careful not to damage your rotor surface. You can put it like on the inside like that and then push it against it, but just be careful not to damage your rotor if you're going to reuse it. But in this case, we're replacing it, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so go ahead and pull your brake pads out, just like that. And now we have two bolts in the back. These are particularly 15 millimeter, but like I said before, that's just on the specific car, so you may have a different size. So let's go and take those off. Alright, let's go and pull this lug nut off now. And now, let's go ahead and grab your rotor. In this case, this one is frozen on there. Alright, so now I'm going to take a wire brush, and I'm just going to clean up the surface where the caliper and the pads slide back and forth. Take the scrub right there. And same thing to this side, just scuff that up a little bit. And now I'm going to pull this pin out. Okay. I'm going to take my shop towel and clean that up. And then take some new lube. This is special stuff for this. This is disc brake caliper lube. Supposedly special stuff for this. And this will help it slide back and forth when you're braking. It'll help it your caliper to slide back and forth a lot easier. So it'll apply and release properly. And once you have all your stuff on there, go ahead and just push it back in there. Snap it in place, and that should, look at that. And I already did this side right here. Same thing for this side. That slides really nicely. So let's go ahead and put this back on. Alright, so now I'm going to take some brake cleaner. I'm just going to spray it on here, just like that, and wipe it down to get all that rust inhibitor stuff off there. And do the same for this side over here. Spray this stuff on there. Alright. Clean that up. Okay. And then now, we'll go ahead and put a new rotor on. Okay, I'm going to take this bearing and lug nut and put it back on there again. That will keep this rotor in place while I'm trying to put that bracket on there. I'm just going to lug this down. I'm going to put this bracket back on there. Put the bolts in. Knock my brake cleaner over. Okay, and tighten those down just like that. So now we're going to go ahead and push this piston back. So I'm going to use a C-clamp. Okay. Alright, and before I put the pads in, I'm just going to take some anti-seize and rub it right here where this pad slides back and forth. That way it'll let it move back and forth really nicely. Just like that. Okay. Now that's all lubed up. So on this particular car, it has this hardware thing right here, this metal thing that we're going to replace. Alright, so now I'm going to put the new one on here. Just going to, there we go. Slide in like that. Take my screwdriver and kind of help it out here. Just gonna push it back. Come on. Okay, almost there. Got the brake pad out of there. Oh well. Come on. There we go. Almost there. I'm gonna flip it over. And just take my screwdriver, pull it out. There we go. Alright, so now that we have our pads on, we have our anti-seize on there, our new hardware on. I'm just going to take the caliper, go ahead and slide it on. Push these little pins back on the top and the bottom so it can go on there. I'm going to put this top bolt in here. Alright, so now that we have these bolts tightened up here, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. A little bearing. Go ahead and push your wheel back straight again. Alright, so I went ahead and lowered the car, and now I'm going to torque these bolts to 100 foot-pounds. If you don't have a torque wrench, just try to get them all as even as you possibly can. Just tighten down real good. Alright, and that pretty much wraps the video up. So obviously do the same thing on the other side over there. And also, before you go and, back it out of the garage, make sure you pump your brake pedal up so you have a good brake pedal, because you remember we pushed those calipers back. There's going to be a little bit of clearance in there, and you want to just close that space up so you won't, put your pedal to the floor and you won't stop. So make sure you pump that brake pedal up. So if this video is helpful, please give it a like. If you see more of my videos in the future, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.